What would future fashion really look like?
Remember, this is not just a story. This is our future.
Now, I've been studying a lot of current designers, and while their concepts are very original and creative, they're impractical and they look really uncomfortable, and I just don't see how the average person would be caught wearing those kind of things in the year 3000. So I've been racking my brain on a realistic interpretation of what futuristic clothing should and could look like in the year 3000. So let's workshop together. What does it mean to create clothing for the next generation or 10 generations forward? I think that humans have a natural tendency to make things more convenient. And if you can see this with fashion from the 1950s. It was very high quality, very well made, but it was not convenient to produce. And so then now we evolved into having clothing that is mass produced, which would be otherwise known as fast fashion. So I feel like the human's number one idea is for convenience. Now, how can we make clothing more convenient? That's what I'm racking my brain up over next. How can it become more convenient to make? Well, my brain goes to 3D printers. It's super expensive now, but I think that in the long run, it'll become affordable to 3D print clothing. Or there'll be some sort of mechanism that can make clothing at an alarming rate. The 2000s was theorizing that we would wear things that are borderline plastic. It's not comfortable, so it would have to evolve. It would have to be made thinner, or it'd have to be made more flexible, or this would have to be made less noisy and less hot. But something would have to evolve with the production of synthetic fibers or synthetic material in order for it to become the predominant thing. We're already in polyester, that's already synthetic. And then, of course, we're looking at comfort. So humans ended up preferring to wear polyester pajamas or polyester joggers or polyester t-shirts. So there's the comfort factor in that. She wants to make this all about herself right now. And then, of course, we're going to stick with synthetic fibers. So I want to explore outside polyester. Maybe PVC plastic ends up becoming more normalized. It's already used for rave clothing, so maybe it becomes more normalized. Maybe we end up wearing that sort of stuff more. But then that would require it being made more comfortable. So how would it be made more comfortable? Thinner, more flexible? Those are the questions I have. But nonetheless, I'm going to jot down synthetic fibers, convenient to produce, so rather minimalistic, and then comfortable. Another thing I'm going to be jotting down is design. Humans love design. And I think that in the year 3000, humans would be rather inspired by their surroundings. I think it'll just be normalized to live in, this AI robotic world. And though there will be people retaliating and dressing the complete opposite as a political statement, I think that the average person would just conform to the aesthetic of robots and stuff. And so I do see chrome and things being a part of our future. I just see it maybe expressed a little bit differently than the 2000s version of it. And then, of course, we're going to think about hues. What kind of hues are we going to be interested in? Is it going to be a pastel time? Is it going to be a bold color time? Is it going to be purely neutrals or only metallics? I think that if you look through history, although there's like a preference, we've always had the option. So I don't think that we're going to see only one specific hue or color palette. But I think that if I had to choose, I think that maybe bold colors. Bold colors, and then secondary to that, pastels. And I do see chrome accents. So that's what I'm working with as like a theory. And now it comes to designing outfits based on those theories. Okay, so here's outfit number 1. And this is like my personal dream outfit. Like I said, I think the futures will be more interested in bold colors, but I do think pastels would be a really close runner-up. And that would be what I would be personally interested in at the year 3000, although I think, would I be alive? I don't even think I'd be alive for that, actually. But this is basically what I'm trying to dress like. This is my personal goal. And I think that this is hitting all the points I mentioned. It's a breathable fabric, but it's also fake fabric. It's light colored. I think that the pastels would be reflecting the light hues of silver that you see here. And this is something that I've been working on expanding on. So this is like the prime example of what I'm hoping to produce as an aesthetic. I even gave it a name. I was going to hold off on what to call it, but I'll tell you in this video anyways. I wanted to call this aesthetic aerobloom. I called it aerobloom because it's as light and it has the same feeling that Fruitiger Aero gives you, but the bloom signifies the expansion of that aesthetic. And also, like, when you think of bloom, you're thinking of airy and fresh and fashion forward, but futurism forward. So technically, when I'm done building my wardrobe, the aesthetic is going to be called aerobloom. Now you know, but let's keep that a secret for now. So what do you guys think? Outfit number 1, is it giving future vibes? Let me know. Okay, outfit number 2. This one was a little bit more bold. I wanted to kind of like push the line a little bit in concept. I still think it hits all the checkpoints. So at that point, it's a matter of whether people of the year 3000 would like this aesthetic. And of course, you don't know how people are going to be thinking at this time, so you could only imagine. So let me know your thoughts. Would you wear this one? Outfit number 3. This one I was thinking more tactical. If we end up maybe in a very... Maple, stop playing with me, she's biting me now. If we end up in a surveillance type situation, if we end up in a modern slavery situation, which is not too far off of a stretch with everything the way it is, I think that we would be dressing rather tactical maybe. So this is kind of like an outfit that kind of prepares for a different outcome of the future. And lastly, I wanted to do like a dark night version, like a dark mode, opposite of aerobloom. I don't know, what do we call this one? Aero night? I don't know. But it's essentially the dark mode version where people maybe have grown really pessimistic and they express that through their fashion. So I don't know, I really wanted to try to expand across different outcomes of the future, from the most optimistic to the least optimistic. And one of these have to be right? Let me know your thoughts down below. These outfits, I definitely want to obviously expand on the aerobloom one. That's the route I'm really aiming for. Again, you're gonna see me wearing these like Y2K inspired looks because they're nostalgic and fun, but you will be seeing stuff that doesn't look all too recognizable thrown into the mix. And I'm very excited for that. But comment down below what you are predicting for the future out of the choices that I showed you. Let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more futuristic content, and I'll see you in the next video.